And the men of the garrison, now what they said was, if the Lord want us, Jonathan had a plan. If the Lord is going to give us this victory, then we're going to say to them, y'all, hey, it's us up here. Y'all come on up here and fight. And if that means that we ain't going down there, if they start coming towards us, that the Lord's saying we ain't, we got to get out of here. The Lord ain't going to give us this victory. But if the Philistine army say, y'all come on down here, then Jonathan and them going to go down there, and they know that the Lord has given them the victory. Okay. All right. Now, verse 12. And the men of the army, the garrison, that's the Philistine garrison, answered Jonathan and his armor bearer said, come up to us, and we will show you a thing. And Jonathan said unto his armor bearer, come up after me. He said, that's it. We got to go ahead. And the Lord had delivered them into the hand of Israel. And Jonathan climbed up on his hands and on his feet, and his armor bearer was following. And they fell before Jonathan and his armor bearer, and they killed him. At that first slaughter, this is the initiation of them trying to get up out of the Philistines' hand. Okay? It says at that first slaughter, which Jonathan and his armor bearer made, was about 20 men. A nice 20 men killed by how many? How many people killed 20? Two. Do y'all see what type of God we serve?
All right.
2. Why 2? For the simple fact that they got 20. If it was 2 on 2, God don't work like that.
All right, go ahead.
That ain't my God. How can I be powerful when I'm working?
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm working eagerly. I don't get no glory. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get small.
Okay.
I'm going to use you small to do something big.
All right. Okay.
This is the God that we serve. See, you know why I love y'all? Because y'all really give me a chance to think. See, I ain't got a whole some other churches be going off on that. Hey, go ahead, they got problems. And they got people out on the streets hookering. And they got people putting stuff in their things. And they got people, men knocking the snot up out of them. And they got their woman running around cheating on. Y'all ain't got that because y'all so special and good. So it's nice and quiet in here. Y'all can hear what I'm saying. Take something small. The busting, am I wrong, Brother Hands? Take something small and bust that big 20-pound weight upside the head. And there was trembling in the whole army. Now Satan is shaking now.
Okay.
All you need to do is just take, maybe just this sermon that we're doing now. Take it home and show that bastard what you got for him. This time. Are y'all understanding what we're talking about here? Look. Verse 21. Moreover, the Hebrews that was with the Philistines before that time, which went up unto them, they came out the country round about, even they that turned aside when the Israelites went up with Saul. Remember the ones I told you when he picked out 3,000? And only it was 600 there with him? Don't you realize that if you have a little victory and you have a little victory, Terry can get a big victory? Because she's somewhere hiding. I'm scared. I don't have enough faith. My prayers, I don't have time to pray. But then you call her up, not talking about Renee, but you call her up talking about Carmel and what God has done for you and how he helped you out. Man, get her the scripture, come out of the woodworks, and get her problem together.
All right.
Are y'all understanding what we're talking about here? Sometimes your little victory ain't just for your little self. It's to help Sister Linda come out. It's to help me come out. Now I can come out of that rock that I've been hiding in, scared of Satan. I came to church, but now I'm still hiding in the rock because I don't know whether or not he a heathen, a lion, or cuss too much or what. So I'm hiding in my little rock. One of y'all that's hearing what I'm saying, help the next man out. Let him know what I'm talking about. Go home, sit down. Tell them, be quiet. The young man didn't say that. This is what the young man meant. And then you can help them out.
All right.
Of that rock that they in.
Okay.
Likewise, 22. Likewise, all the men of Israel, which had hid themselves in the Mount Ephraim, when they heard the Philistines had fled, they followed also, hard after them. So now that we got a whole group, me, Jerry, Carmela, Renee, Sister Leona, Linda, my man, Brother Hans see it happening. So now they joining in. Now we gonna do some butt kicking on Satan. Now y'all understand what I'm talking about? Come here, you bastard! Grab him by his neck. I know what you did to them little children out there. Slam him down. Then I'm gonna let Terry get some. Are y'all understanding what we talking about? We ain't got no business running from him. He's supposed to be in flight.
All right.
Are y'all with me? Okay. 23. So the Lord saved Israel that day. The Lord saved Israel that day. All right. Now, all right, I got to read fast now, y'all. Okay. And the men of Israel was distressed that day. This is 24. And the men of Israel, thank you, was distressed that day. Because Saul, remember that king? Because Saul had commanded the people, saying, cursed be the, I'm in 24. Cursed be the man that eat any food until the evening, that I can be avenged of my enemies. So none of the people ate no food. Wait a minute. We just had a victory up here. So this guy here, Saul, brand new king, he feel as though he want to imply his rules. He want to imply his rules. After the little victory, what's wrong with a little celebration? Where's Sister Jill? How many she celebrate? Sister Dicky, how many she celebrate? 70. She don't look no over 50. Over 49. Are y'all understand? What's wrong with that? But you know what somebody gonna tell her? Sister Jill, why are you wearing that dress? You 70 years old. What are you talking about? What are you saying? 70 years I trampled that demon's head, and you telling me what I should wear? He gonna imply his commandment there. And they, and all of them, and 25, and they of all the land came to the woods, and there was some honey on the ground. And when the people came into the woods, behold, the honey dropped. But no man didn't eat none, because they feared the oath, because they swore, we won't eat a thing. You know, we ain't gonna have a little fun. We ain't gonna have a little fun. I'm a Christian. I'm not gonna have a little fun. I've been baptized today. Are you there? Are you with me? But Jonathan heard not when his father charged the people the oath. Wherefore he put the end of his little rod in his hand and dipped it into the honeycomb and put it in his mouth. And his eyes was enlightened. Let me tell y'all something about honey. Look at it. Honey got medicine, medicinal properties in it that heals. Honey is sweet. It's better than white sugar. Honey is made naturally. They're in the place, what they call, they're fighting in the place with the Lord, is the promised land. And the Lord promised them that I will put you into a land of what? Here it is, I got you there. I got you there. And now you're going to let a stupid oath, some sort of I don't do, I'm too sturgid, let you enjoy your victory? Are y'all understanding all the, why can't you go to the show? Will they be cursing? Why can't you laugh? How come you can't joke around? Why are you so stiff? Why are you fighting Satan like a cardboard box? Get some honey. Hey, fellas. Fellas, I got to talk to you. Every now and then, it says that he dipped his rod into the honey. Honey has medicine in it. Honey has medicine in it. Do you realize how calm you can be with a little honey? You are so uptight. That's the reason why you don't know how to talk to her. That's the reason why you don't know why when you think about on the job how to do some romance, you forget when you get there. She's a woman. She's going to be a little snotty. You got to learn how to... Thank you. Are y'all understanding? Are y'all feeling what I'm trying to get across? Well, we are not married in the church. The church? What? The church the one that sent this oath out. That's why you're starving. I'm waiting for the Lord to send me a man. Get some honey. Put them high heel shoes on. That's right. Flatten them up. Lift up the skirt. Pull it down. I don't care. Go to Terry Shops. He got a special. Get your hair did. Get some honey. Come to the church. Get the sweetness out of the sermon. Get the sweetness out of the songs. Eat Sister Cindy's sweet bacon. Are y'all understanding what we trying to get across here? Get yourself some honey. You a child of God. For crying out loud. You can have some fun. You can have some sweetness. It's medicine in it. Well, I don't want to live in fornication. What a piece of paper got to do with you loving this person? What? He says his eyes was enlightened. Then answered one of the people and said, your father told us with an oath, cursed be the man that eat any food today. Somebody from the deacon board stood up. And the people was fake. Now here they is hungry. They all mad and stiff. You know what I'm saying? You talk about the jokes or whatever that the comedian told on the dirt. I don't find it funny. Talking about the Lord that way. Look at man. Come on, man. You understand what I'm saying? Then said Jonathan, my father had did what? Troubled the land. See, I beg you, how my eyes have been enlightened because I tasted a little of this honey. Are y'all with me?
Okay.
For crying out loud. How much more, supposing the people had eaten freely today of the spoils of their enemies? How come she can't get a new car? Well, how come Christians are not supposed to have anything new? You understand what I mean? Why are we supposed to be the ones walking around all well, the Lord pray. I don't want no God that got me walking around like some sort of bum. And if I am a bum, I'm the cleanest bum out here. Are y'all understanding what we're trying to get across? I got to change the drawers at least. Because I serve God out here and I sleep on this couch, but I still serve God. And I know that because I'm in mismatch right now, there's a bright point in light. Amen. Y'all understanding what we're trying to get across. But you have to get some honey. Have to loosen up. Sweeten yourself up. Think about some of the good things that the Lord God has done for you. Ain't that sweet? Right. Are y'all understanding what we're trying to get across here? It says, now, and they told Saul, now, look at this. We got to move on. Okay, I got to go on this. Verse 31. And so they hungry. They still beating the Philistines up because this is God's thing. They still beat, I mean, some of them holy rollies out there, whatever, they still get over, don't drink, don't smoke, don't party, don't cuss. You know what I mean? Me and my husband, we don't do anything or whatever, but we still love each other. Yeah, she in the bedroom, you in the kitchen, you know. You understand what I mean? That's how it flows. But they still beating Satan. They still beating Satan. See what it's saying? And they smote the Philistines that day from Michmash to Ahalijah. That's 31. And the people were still very faint, meaning they were still very weak. Okay. They still very weak. See, with some good old-fashioned food come along, like what I'm talking about here now, they didn't eat it. They couldn't eat it. But the people flew upon the spoil in 32. and took the sheep and the oxen and the calves and killed them on the ground. And the people did eat them with the blood. They were so hungry that when they got down there to take the food, to take all the Philistine sheep and oxen and all that, they took out their knives and just cut them right there and started eating them raw. This is what the oath that, y'all understand what I mean?
Okay.
This is what King Saul had them brought to the brink
All right. Okay.
of doing something ravaging and animalistic.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever seen people like that? They so hungry, they so out of touch with honey, so they'll do anything.
Okay.
Anything. You think a lot of these weirdos out here messing around these kids started off like that? Lack of honey. Some of the parents didn't give that little child no honey.
All right.
Some of the churches didn't give them people no honey. They didn't go see them in the hospitals. They didn't call them up. I know I get on Renee and Carmella nerves, but I don't care. No honey. Y'all understand what I'm talking about? I know it. We're going to start getting on his nerves too back there. I don't even know his name yet. You know what I mean? I'm just going to just call him Mr. Masonic. You know what I mean? Him too. He already getting on our nerves. Every time you turn around, of course, I've got the answer. The answer right here. But that's a little honey between us and his church. Are y'all feeling me? But some of these weirdos are out here with no honey, and they just knocking on your door. And ain't the door they knock on your door. They knock up on your door because ain't nobody love them. All they did was make them take that sturgeon oath. So what happened was they wound up coming to the point where they start acting like animals. Don't have a lot of time here, so I'm gonna try to get this in. In chapter 17:10, it says, now there was a law. It says, thank you. There was a law. It says, no man should eat of the blood. In other words, the Israelites was not supposed to eat raw meat. They was not supposed to eat raw meat. God had said, y'all write this down. Leviticus 17:10. And y'all read that 17:10 down to 17 or something like that. You'll find out that God is telling them the reason why he didn't want them to eat blood was because the blood was the life of flesh. Okay. He was preparing them to say, listen here, the only blood I want y'all to eat is mine. Amen. All right. These animal bloods, these ritualistic, these good things, as the pastor was just talking about, the Masonic relations, that's eating raw meat. It's life. But life for how long? You understand? The only blood that you're going to eat that's going to last for eternity is Christ's blood. Okay. So they were so hungry for something else that they joined these groups. Just to do something. Are y'all understanding what we're trying to get? They came down, they were so sturgeon that they said, look, we're going to join the gang. We're going to join the Teachers Aid Club. We're going to do something and think it's going to give us life. Okay. God is saying the only blood to eat is my blood, Jesus Christ's blood that I shed for you. Okay. Are y'all with me? Just sit.
I ain't no joke. I used to buy smoke. Now I slam it when I'm done and make sure it's cool. But now it's staring at
I said, the only blood to eat is Christ's blood. He's saying, I ain't no joke.
Because I ain't no joke. Because I ain't no joke.
Get some honey. Y'all need some honey in your lives, boy. Some of y'all done took an oath right there, and I swear to God, you can't even recognize. Oh my stars! All right, we're gonna keep on going. We're gonna keep. That's A.P. and Raquel. Exactly. Yeah, he said I ain't no joke. The reason why the guy King Saul was a joke. He gonna make an oath to get people off. This is how you march like a Christian. God say the only way you gonna march like a Christian is to march like me. I'm the blood. Not them good deeds that you think you're doing, these groups that you think you're doing, the sermons that you think you're preaching, the kids that you think you're raising. All of this is raw meat. It will carry you, but so far, God is saying my blood will carry you over. ice smoke. And now I'm about to slam it, but I'm almost done. So anyway, Saul finds out that somebody done messed up. Okay? Somebody done ate the thing. So he says in verse, go to 41. Therefore Saul said unto the Lord God, give me a perfect lot. Now he's trying to find out who out the bunch done messed up the oath. Okay? And Saul said, cast the lots before me. So they cracking the ice. Boom. And God's going to show exactly who disobeyed Saul's oath. Then 43. And then Saul said to Jonathan, tell me what you have done. Because the lot picked Saul out. Picked Jonathan out. And Jonathan told him and said, I did but taste just a little honey, but the end of my rod that was in my hand. And now I gotta die? He like, I gotta die just because I had a little honey? You mean to tell me you mad at your sister and your brother because they had just a little fun? They went to the club and you can't dance, so you stayed home. Or you had the baby center or whatever, now you got church in the morning. Now I gotta die? Are y'all understanding? What? Okay. Are y'all understand? Oh, that was him? Y'all there? All right. And Saul answered and said, God, do so more to me also, for you shall die, Jonathan. One thing about Saul, he gonna keep his promise. Saul said, look here, Lot picked you out. I said no honey. I said no food. You ate it. Saul is so diligent to himself and what he believes, he's willing to kill his own son. He's willing to kill his own son. Not himself, but himself. Our God did the same thing. Our king, the no joke king, we messed up and God killed his own son. But his own son is himself. That's the love, the king that we serve. Why are you worried about another king that would send someone else to do a job that he himself should do? Look at this, and we're going to close out here. And the people said unto Saul, why should Jonathan die? He worked a great salvation in Israel. God forbid. As the Lord lives, there shall no hair of his head fall to the ground. For he had worked with God today. So the people rescued Jonathan, that he didn't die. Then Saul stopped from chasing the Philistines. What I want to ask y'all is, do you know what your life is for? Why did you come to church today? To hear me? To hear the Lord? To hear the pastor? To sing your songs? To preach your sermon? To show off your new hairdo? To show off anything that you had? That's all man-made. That's raw blood. Jesus Christ's blood is the blood that counts. Drunk, sober, dead or alive. That's the only blood that should matter to you. He died so that you can have life in more abundance. And that includes some honey. Man's statutes of purity. Mankind standards are much higher than God's standards. Man's standards for you to live are higher than God's. Man wants you to follow 23 rules. God wants you to obey one commandment. Love God and love your neighbor as yourself. If you can do that, You can have some honey. I'm opening up the doors to the church right now. If you want that honey flavored with Jesus' blood, we ask you to come and sit here now. If you decide that you just want to sit there and abide by man's rule, we ask that you stay in your seat. And as you stay in your seat, you think about it. How long am I going to follow man's rules? How long am I going to follow my rule? We need somebody to come and say they done with man's rules. We need somebody to come up in here and say, you know what? Ain't no blood like Jesus Christ's blood. It's the only blood that I want, that I need. I love my wife, my husband, my kids, but they are all me. Living off of them will not get me to miscarriage, to that bright light. The preacher's pointing right now. Get over it. Christ is all that you need. He's the only king. Will there be one to come to this altar? We've done what the Lord has asked. Yet there's room.